Let's get loud.
It's showtime, showtime, showtime. Let's go, Seattle fans. Where you at? How devoted are you? Time to get loud with your host, Native Seahawk.
All right, yes, Seattle Seahawk fans, how are you feeling tonight after the first round of the 2024 NFL Draft is now over? It is in the books, and your boy, John Schneider. Oh, John Schneider. How's it going out there, Mr. John Schneider? Man, that guy, he was sitting back watching all these offensive receivers and quarterbacks and offensive linemen, tight ends, and you name it. They were all going 14 in a row. And he's sitting there at number 16, licking his chops going, are you crazy? We don't have to trade up to get the number one guy that we want on our big board, which is Byron Murphy. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Mr. Byron Murphy, 6'1", 308 pounds, defensive tackle. Remember those times? We can all kind of remember the last few years where the running backs would go right up the middle, or they would shed a tackle here and there, and they're gone for 78, 80 yards, Mr. McCaffrey. Remember those days? I think those days are going to be long gone and distant memories. And, they do not belong on the digital board that's going up at the VMAC, because Byron Murphy is going to clog up the middle of that defensive line along with the other guys on our team. But let's take a look at some highlights of Byron Murphy. He is comped to Aaron Donald. Yes, there's been several folks that have said that Byron Murphy reminds them a lot of a younger Aaron Donald who just retired. He tortured Seahawks fans for 10 years in Los Angeles, and now your boy Byron Murphy is in Seattle. He is a power guy. University of Texas coaches do a great job of coaching up their D-line, and he is no exception. He takes and he sheds double teams. He finds the football and he makes the play. He is quick for 300 pounds. He stays flat when he's being down blocked and finds the ball carrier time and time again. He was constantly double teamed in Texas, which is why Seattle, the brass there was saying, we need him. Aaron Donald was one of the most double teamed players in the NFL almost his entire career. And that's what's going to happen to Byron Murphy in Seattle. And, he's got elite quickness. He's got a compact frame. He can win with power or finesse. He's got a powerful punch and motor. He drives offensive linemen back. He's got quick hands to win with swipes and push and pulls. He's effective at clogging up gaps against the runs. That's exactly what we need, because that will open up, when he's being double teamed, it's going to open up for other defensive linemen on the squad to get and make their plays, such as Leo Williams, Boye Mafe, Jaron Reed, Jonathan Hankins, Uchenna Nwasu. And this was the person that's really, this is going to help the most is Dre Jones. Dre Jones. If Seattle can keep on to him, Dre Jones is going to have a hell of a season this year and the next years, hopefully. But that's if he's still on the squad. He could be rumored to be traded this draft because they could use a second-round draft pick this year. But we'll get into that in other podcasts. But so Coach Mike Mack, he wants to build this team from the inside out. He wants dudes that can smack the guy across the line in the head. That's exactly what he got with Byron Murphy. Now, some are saying the downsides to him is that he didn't have enough sacks. Well, he had 5 sacks last year. Okay, fine. But you try getting sacks when you're double teamed almost 90% of the time. He had 33 quarterback pressures despite being double teamed all that much. And some are trying to say that he takes plays off. Again, you're getting double teamed on every play. Yeah, you might need to take a few plays off. But he is a guy, when he gets to the NFL, who could play on first, second, and third down, not being taken off on third down because he can't get to the quarterback. He should be able to do very well on those 3 plays. But this will be forever the Byron Murphy versus Dallas Turner draft. We're going to look back in 5 or 10 years and say, man, we could have had Dallas Turner. That's the other edge rusher that came from Alabama, who was drafted right after Byron Murphy. And so we'll see what happens as the history goes. But this is where Seattle's definitely going to need Justin Hines, the defensive line coach, who was with the Bears. I openly didn't really know who the D-line coach was because I just thought it was AD or Alan Durd, who came as the defensive line coach from the Cowboys last year, is now the defensive coordinator in Seattle. And so now you've got Coach Mike Mack, you got Alan Durd, who's the DC, and now you got Justin Hines, who is the defensive line coach. These three guys are going to have to really coach up Byron Murphy. But the good news is they don't have to spend a whole lot of time coaching him because the kid is legit. He is going to wreck offensive lines if he stays healthy, if he doesn't get on some stupid ATV and roll himself down the hill like we saw in former first round or second round picks that we've got in the past, where they screwed themselves up before they even got on the field. Byron Murphy is projected to be most likely going to compete for a starting position on that defensive line with Jarran Reed, with Leo Williams. Leo Williams, of course, is going to be the starter, but he's really going up against Jarran Reed and Jonathan Hankins, Jonathan Hankins is a big boy, by the way. I think he's around 350 pounds, and an elder statesman. He can try to coach up Byron Murphy, but it's a really, really great opportunity for the Seahawks, again, who ranked 31st against the run last year. In the last quartile the year before against the run, they needed to start building from the trenches, the inside out. They could have easily got an edge rusher. They could have easily went out and got a defensive back, but they decided to go. And again, had the draft not gone the way it did, I still think they would trade down. But again, maybe there was nobody that wanted to trade down or trade up to get the number 16 pick because they knew that their defensive guy was going to be on the board when they got to their position anyway on the draft. So it's very possible now what's going to happen. I still think Seattle needs to go after either Peyton Wilson or Edgerrin Cooper. Those are the two fastest linebackers in this draft. They're going to need to at least pull out a rabbit out their hat for at least one of the two. I'm actually hoping it's Peyton Wilson, who a lot of pundits have him going in the 58 or 60 pick of the whole draft. Remember, they're at 33 picks starting tomorrow night or Friday night. And so, Seattle does not have a pick until number 81. But because of all the fact that all these offensive players were picked in the first round, rather than Peyton Wilson going around 50, he could go around 60 or even 70, which would, help Seattle if they do want to try to move up from 81 up to 70. Maybe they can still do that and pull that off to pick up Peyton Wilson. But we need another linebacker. This is a very linebacker-heavy defense that Mike Mack likes to run, but you can only do that when you have three tremendously good defensive tackle type, or one defensive tackle, two edge rushers. That's three. So you need four or more very, very fast linebackers. And we do have really good linebackers that we've just picked up from the Bills and from the Dolphins, but if we can get one of these kids, one of these guys that are just coming out of college who have elite speed, Peyton Wilson or Edgerrin Cooper, I will be ecstatic. And then you go after another offensive tackle. You go after some more help on the defensive back end. Wide receiver, number 4 would be great to get on the squad. Some running back. So we got our work cut out for us in the next few days, but I'm really, really stoked about this pick with Byron Murphy. He fell to us. Many folks had Byron Murphy in the top 10, somewhere around anywhere from 7 to 10, and we got him at number 16 because all those quarterbacks were taken, all those receivers and tight ends were taken, 14 offensive players were taken right before Seattle picked at number 16 in order for us to get Byron Murphy. So I'm excited about it. I can't wait to get my Murphy jersey. I can't wait to get to learn more about this guy who's our number 1 pick in 2024. Seattle stuck. They had to stick. You got a blue chip player like Byron Murphy. You have to take him, despite the fact they could have got some tremendous amount of draft capital, I imagine, in the second and third rounds easily this year. Maybe even picked up a first-round pick for next year. They could have done all that, but Byron Murphy is definitely worth it. And I'm extremely stoked that Seattle got it. Good job, John Schneider. And really, how can you applaud John Schneider? He's just sitting there going with his jaws, wide open, going, "Oh my God, look at Byron Murphy's about ready to land on my lap," and he certainly did. So we're very, very stoked. We'll be back again either Friday night or Saturday night to come back with another draft reaction right here in the Loud and Devoted. My name is Aaron Thomas, a.k.a. Native Seahawk. We'll see you again soon. Go Hawks!